My cheating wife lied about a yoga retreat. What I found at the cabin broke me. Reddit cheating story. Have you ever had one of those moments where your entire reality doesn't just crack, it implodes? Yeah, that was me, standing in the kitchen with my wife of 12 years, watching her chuck her wedding ring at me like I was trash she forgot to take out. And all I'd said was one word: why? Let me rewind a bit before the fireworks. My name's Ethan. I'm 38, run a decent auto repair shop just outside Portland, and I've been with my wife, Jen, since we were in college. She was always the type that made heads turn, sharp jawline, fierce attitude, and a voice that could sell snow to an Eskimo. I used to think she was the best decision I ever made. Keyword, used to. We had a good thing going, or so I thought. A nice little craftsman-style house we built up from foreclosure, a German shepherd named Max, and weekend hikes that looked picture-perfect on Instagram. But beneath that polished social media glow, something was rotting. The distance crept in slowly, like fog. A little less eye contact. A little more phone shielding. Late-night, girl dinners that ended with wine-stained lips and perfume I didn't recognize. But I convinced myself it was stress. Work. Life. Hormones. Anything but what it actually was. Until the Tuesday night. She came home late again. Hair curled. Makeup perfect. Laughing at something on her phone that she quickly swiped away when I walked in. Hey, I said casually. Didn't expect you back this late. She barely glanced up. Dinner with Lacey ran long. We did a little shopping. Lacey. Her best friend. Also a chronic oversharer. I talked to Lacey just a week earlier and she mentioned being in Phoenix visiting her cousin. So unless Jen had a teleportation device, I knew something was up. I didn't say anything yet. I just watched her. Noticed how she didn't take her heels off like she usually did. How her phone never left her hand. Something in my gut was screaming. So that night, while she showered, I did the one thing I swore I'd never do. I checked her phone. Before you come at me with trust and privacy lectures, save it. Because of what I saw on that screen? It gutted me. Dozens of messages. A saved contact named Gina. Except Gina sent her shirtless mirror selfies. I opened the thread. My hands were shaking. My heart is pounding. And right there, in black and white. Last night was incredible. I can still smell you on me. Can't wait to see you again, baby girl. He'll never find out. Oh, but I did. And when Jen walked out of the shower wrapped in a towel, humming like she hadn't just detonated our life, I was waiting at the kitchen table. Phone in hand. Ethan, she said, freezing when she saw my face. I didn't scream. I didn't throw the phone. I just looked her dead in the eyes and asked, why? That was when she snapped. She marched over, ripped the ring off her finger, and hurled it at my chest. It bounced off and clattered to the floor like a symbol of every broken promise. You want a reason? She snarled. Because I'm tired of pretending this life is enough. And just like that, the woman I thought I'd grow old with became a stranger with claws. But what she didn't know was I hadn't even read half the messages yet. And the worst was still waiting. The silence that followed Jen's outburst was suffocating. She stood there, chest heaving, her damp hair dripping water onto the hardwood. I just stared at her. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just picked up the ring from the floor, cold, hollow, and so much lighter than it used to feel, and placed it on the kitchen counter. She scoffed. Oh, come on, Ethan. Don't act like some tragic little victim. You've been boring for years. That one stung more than I'd admit. But still, I said nothing. Instead, I picked the phone back up, sat down, and kept scrolling. Jen didn't move. She stood there like she expected me to rage, to beg, to break. But I was past the point of breaking. I was in that terrifying calm where your whole body goes numb from betrayal. And then I saw it. A photo. Not of her. Of them. At a cabin. Arms wrapped around each other. A bottle of wine. The kind we used to open on our anniversary. Dated 3 weeks ago. While I was at home installing the new fence she wanted. I looked up slowly. The cabin, I said. Is that where you told me you were on that yoga retreat? She rolled her eyes. Ethan, don't be dramatic. I held the phone up. You wore the necklace I gave you in this. The one from our honeymoon. She hesitated for just a second. Then shrugged. So you took something from us and gave it to him. Her lip curled. He appreciates it more than you ever did. And that's when something in me snapped. Not in an explosive way. In a surgical way. I got up. Calm. Ice cold. You need to pack a bag, I said. She laughed. Excuse me. You're leaving. Tonight. You can't kick me out of this house. It's ours. No, I said, pointing to the deed. It's mine. Bought it before we were married. Never put your name on it. You remember the conversation. Her face dropped. Ethan, don't be cruel. Cruel. I echoed. Cruel is throwing your ring at me like I'm the problem. Cruel is screwing around while I bust my back for this marriage. Cruel is telling me I'm boring while you're out playing cabin lovebirds with some dude who sends you shirtless selfies. I was shaking now, but not from fear. From fury. She stepped forward. Where am I supposed to go? Gina's place, I said flatly. Oh wait. She doesn't exist, does she? She didn't even deny it. She just stormed off, grabbed her purse, and slammed the bedroom door behind her. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at the dining table, going through every message. Every photo. Every sick little inside joke they shared. Turns out Gina was actually Marcus. 40, married, and a corporate VP at some tech startup across town. One message stood out. I told him I was with Lacey again. I think he buys it. He's such a good boy. Another. Can't wait till I'm out of this fake marriage. He's like a blank wall with a paycheck. And then, if this goes well, I'll push for alimony. He won't see it coming. Oh, honey. Not only did I see it coming now, but I was already planning how to flip the script. The next morning, I paid a little visit to Marcus's office. I wanted to see the man who thought he could wreck my life behind my back. But what do I walk into? Wasn't just an affair, it was a full-blown scandal waiting to explode. Marcus F. Hollingsworth III. That was the name printed on the sleek silver plaque outside the 12th floor office suite. Real fancy for a guy whose secret identity was shirtless selfie sender and homewrecker extraordinaire. I didn't have an appointment, but I did have screenshots. And rage. And a level of calm that scared even me. The receptionist gave me a tight corporate smile. Do you have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Hollingsworth? Nope, I replied, sliding a manila envelope onto the desk. But he'll want to see this. She eyed it suspiciously. Sir, trust me. It's personal. 2 minutes later, I was in. Marcus stood up from behind his polished desk, adjusting his cufflinks like he was preparing for battle. Tall, square-jawed, clearly used to getting his way. You're Jen's husband, aren't you? He said, smug as a cat who'd just eaten someone else's roast. Was, I replied. That ends now. I tossed the envelope onto his desk. He opened it slowly, scanning the printed messages, photos, and one particularly spicy screenshot where he called me Captain Boring. His smile faltered. Slightly. Blackmail? He asked. No, I said, tilting my head. A courtesy. You have a wife. 2 kids. A public profile. A board seat. I figured I'd give you the chance to clean this up before it gets messy. He leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled. What do you want? Simple, I said. Tell Jen it's over. Block her. And if she ever tries to squeeze me for alimony, you come forward and admit everything. He chuckled. You think you can bully me? I leaned forward. I think your wife's PTA group would love these messages. And your company's board might not love the footage I got from that cabin's security cam. Yep, they archived for 30 days. Guess who requested a copy? His face drained of color. I don't want your money, Marcus. I want your silence. And your cooperation. He didn't say yes. But he didn't say no either. Which was enough. That night, Jen texted me 6 times. We need to talk. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Can we please be adults? I didn't respond. Instead, I met with my lawyer. We pulled the prenup signed, witnessed, ironclad. It stated that any infidelity nullified spousal support. She didn't get a dime. Not a cent. And just to be extra spicy, I authorized my lawyer to include a counter-humiliation clause. Basically, if she tried to smear me publicly or sue me for emotional distress, we'd unleash the evidence dump. Photos. Messages. Cabin footage. All of it. By day 3, Jen showed up at my shop. Tears. Red-rimmed eyes. No makeup. Not even the courtesy of a call. I didn't think you'd be this cruel, she whispered. Cruel? I asked, wiping grease off my hands. Cruel is planning to drain your husband dry while calling him a blank wall with a paycheck. She winced. Marcus ended it. Told me it was getting too risky. I raised an eyebrow. Imagine that. She stepped closer. Do you still love me? That question should have crushed me. Instead, I shrugged. I love the memory of you. The person you used to be. But whoever threw that ring at me, I don't know her. And I don't want to. Her lip quivered. Goodbye, Jen. I thought that would be the end of it. But a week later, I got a message from Marcus's wife. Turns out, Jen wasn't Marcus's first rodeo. And this time, she had a revenge plan of her own. And she wanted my help. Her name was Vanessa Hollingsworth. Yep, Marcus's wife. And when her message hit my inbox, it didn't come with a passive-aggressive tone or some weepy breakdown. No, Vanessa was surgical. Ethan, I've known for months. Yours isn't the only marriage he's trashed. Let's compare notes. We met at a quiet cafe on the west side. The kind with reclaimed wood tables and overpriced herbal teas. She wore all black, like she was mourning her patience. Vanessa didn't waste time. She slid a file across the table thicker than Jen's excuses. Cabin weekends, dinner dates, even an office trip to Seattle he claimed was team building. He's a serial liar, and Jen was just his latest project. I handed her my own little gift bag. Printed screenshots, financial inconsistencies, and a timeline of their affair. Our stories aligned with terrifying symmetry. I'm divorcing him, she said matter-of-factly. But I'm doing it loudly. Press leaks, board memos, the whole deal. He's got a brand to protect. I chuckled darkly. And Jen. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. Collateral damage. She chose this. I couldn't argue with that. The next few days were like watching dominoes fall in slow, satisfying motion. First, Marcus's company issued a temporary leave of absence. Translation: He was politely booted until the scandal cooled down. Spoiler, it wouldn't. Then came the leak. Photos, anonymous emails, a Reddit thread that detailed the affair with receipts, literal ones from the hotel minibar, and quickly hit trending. Jen's phone exploded. She showed up at my shop again, this time in a full meltdown. Mascara streaks, shaking hands, and that frantic look people get when they realize their plan B is burning. "You did this," she screamed. "No," I corrected calmly. "You did. I just made sure everyone saw it." She tried to grab my arm, pleading now. "I can't get another job. They think I was complicit in Marcus's fraud." "Oh," I said with mock concern. "You mean the misused company card? The one he used to book that yoga retreat cabin?" "Yeah. Turns out using a corporate card for adultery is a bad look." She blinked. "You really hate me." "I don't hate you," I said. "I just finally see you." And with that, I turned away. A week later, I got a text from Vanessa. "Done. Divorce filed. The press release going out tomorrow. You're officially mentioned as the whistleblower. You good with that?" "Perfect. Let them know I like my justice medium rare." She sent back a laughing emoji. Then came the best part. Jen's lawyer tried to reopen negotiations. Said she was experiencing emotional distress and deserved compensation for the defamation. My lawyer responded with a USB drive. Within 48 hours, Jen's entire claim was dropped. I got everything, the house, the business, the dog. Max stays with me. He always hated her cologne anyway. And her ring? I donated it to a local shelter's fundraiser auction. Let someone else turn that empty symbol into something useful. Just when I thought it was over, I got one last message. From Lacey. Yep, the real Lacey. And what she told me turned the story completely sideways. The message from Lacey came late. Past midnight when everything's quiet and your brain thinks you've finally earned peace. "Ethan, I know what really happened. Jen lied to both of us." It was jarring to see her name. Lacey had gone radio silent for months. The last I heard, she was out of state visiting family. We met the next morning at a corner booth in a dingy diner that hadn't changed its wallpaper since the 80s. Lacey looked worn. Eyes tired, nails chipped, hair in a rushed ponytail. But she wasn't nervous. She was angry. "You deserve the full truth," she said, pushing her coffee aside. "Jen didn't just cheat. She manipulated me. She used me as her cover for almost a year." I blinked. "Wait, you didn't know?" "No," she snapped. "She told me to tell you we were together on trips. Said you'd get paranoid if she traveled solo. She made it seem like you were controlling. That hit like a brick. Jen had set me up, made sure I wouldn't question her whereabouts by weaponizing her best friend." Lacey reached into her purse and pulled out a small notebook. "I kept a journal. I'm a writer, remember? Here, dates, locations, text messages. She even borrowed my outfits for stage photos." I leafed through the journal, page after page confirming what I'd feared. Jen hadn't just betrayed me. She'd choreographed an entire performance. But Lacey wasn't done. "There's more. She was planning to fake a breakdown. File claims that you were abusive. She rehearsed what to say to me, had her therapist on speed dial. She was going to try and frame you to get full spousal support in the house." The table went silent. My stomach churned. "She planned to destroy me," I whispered. Lacey nodded. "But I couldn't go through with it. That's why I left town. I ghosted her. I couldn't stomach the lie anymore." I leaned back, staring at the greasy ceiling tiles. It wasn't just infidelity. It was calculated sabotage, character assassination. A woman I once kissed under fireworks had drawn blueprints for my downfall. "I want to help," Lacey said. "I owe you. I owe me." I took a deep breath. "Then let's burn the blueprint." That afternoon, my lawyer added Lacey's journal and a notarized statement to the divorce records. Her affidavit painted a picture of calculated manipulation that left no room for Jen to play the victim card. Within 72 hours, Jen's legal team withdrew all remaining demands. The court finalized the divorce. No support, no property, no future claims. The judge even issued a formal censure. This is a rare and disturbing example of psychological fraud. I walked out of that courthouse lighter than air. Later that night, Lacey texted me again. "You deserved better. Always did. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner. I didn't know what to say. So I just sent, 'Thank you for telling the truth.' That changed everything." A week later, I received one final envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a flash drive. The label? "For your healing." From someone who watched it all. I plugged it in, and what I saw left me frozen. I stared at the flash drive like it was a ticking bomb. No note, no sender. Just that single line on the label. For your healing. From someone who watched it all. Could have been anything. A prank. A trap. Another layer of humiliation. But curiosity always wins. I plugged it into my laptop, bracing myself. There were 3 files. All are labeled by dates. All video. I clicked the first one. It opened on grainy security cam footage. Parking lot. Familiar. Took me a second to place it. Jen's gym. The one she swore was women only. There she was, slipping into a black SUV. A man climbed in after her. Not Marcus. I paused. Rewound. Zoomed. Someone else. Different guy. Tall. Bearded. Arms around her like they'd done this 100 times. I opened the second file. Same SUV. Different lot. A month earlier. Another man. And suddenly the illusion shattered. Jen hadn't just been cheating with Marcus. She was serial. Strategic. Calculated. I clicked the third file. It was different. A hidden camera. A bar. The audio was faint, but I could make out the conversation. Jen sipping wine. Laughing. I'm just using him for stability. He's predictable. I need that while I line up the real deal. The guy she was talking to? Marcus. She continued. I'll flip the script on him soon. Paint him as obsessive. It'll be easy. He's so quiet. People won't question it. And then, Marcus. You sure you can pull it off? Jen. Already halfway there. I slammed the laptop shut. I sat in silence. The kind of silence that hums in your ears. Not because I didn't know the truth, but because I realized just how deep her performance went. She wasn't broken. She wasn't confused. She was a predator, and someone had been watching her the entire time. Later that night, I received a final message. I used to date her. She did the same thing to me. I saw her with you and hoped she'd changed. When I realized she hadn't, I started recording. I'm sorry I waited so long. You deserve to know. No name. Just that. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Sometimes closure isn't a door slamming shut. It's a slow wind through an open window. The next day, I deleted the files. Not because I wanted to forget, but because I finally didn't need proof anymore. I had peace. I had the truth. And sometimes that's the only revenge that matters. I thought that was the last chapter. But a month later, I got a wedding invite from Lacey. And the name of the groom? That sent my coffee flying across the room. I thought the story was over. Until I opened the envelope. Cream cardstock. Gold embossed letters. Elegant handwriting that could only belong to someone trying really hard to look classy. You're invited to celebrate the union of Lacey Harper and Dylan Whitaker. Dylan. As in my former college roommate Dylan. My fishing buddy. My late-night pizza accomplice. The guy who once cried on my porch after his high school sweetheart dumped him. And now, he was marrying the woman who helped unravel my marriage. I stared at the invite like it was a joke. A prank. But nope, this was real. Return address and everything. For a hot second, I was tempted to rage. To dig into betrayal mode all over again. But then, I laughed. Because honestly, it was kind of perfect. Lacey called me 2 days later. Hey, she said, tentative. I wasn't sure you'd get the invite. Oh, I got it, I said. Didn't expect the groom, though. She sighed. It wasn't like that. It happened after everything. We reconnected. He's different now. Are you? I asked. There was a pause. I think so. I nodded to myself. Then I hope it works out. She exhaled. You're not mad. No. I'm done carrying bitterness. I've got better things to hold on to. Like what? I smiled. My peace. My business. My dog. And maybe a woman who doesn't need a burner phone to love me. We chuckled. It wasn't awkward. It was full circle. I didn't go to the wedding. Instead, I spent that day on a lake with Max beer in hand. Sun in my face. Not a single lie in sight. I watched the clouds drift by and thought about how endings don't always come with fireworks. Sometimes they come with silence. With peace. With the soft thud of a closed door and the wide open sky beyond it. It's been almost a year now. Jen's name rarely crosses my mind. She moved to California, started a wellness blog, and based on what I've seen online, she's still chasing love like it's a reality show audition. Marcus, fired, divorced, sued, a cautionary tale wrapped in cologne. Lacey and Dylan, still together. Go figure. And me, I rebuilt. The shop's thriving. Max is older, and a little grayer, but still wags his tail like I hung the moon. I've been seeing someone new, nothing rushed, just honest, kind, real, and best of all, I sleep at night. No guilt, no second guessing, no hidden apps, just rest. So here's what I'll leave you with. Betrayal doesn't have to be your ending. It can be your wake-up call. Pain doesn't define you, but it can refine you. And trust? Once broken, it doesn't have to stay shattered. You can rebuild it with the right people. The honest ones. The quiet ones. The ones who don't need chaos to feel alive. So I'll ask you this. What would you do if the person you loved tried to destroy you from the inside out? Would you burn it all down? Or walk away and rebuild better? Let me know in the comments. Because your story matters too. And someone out there might just need it to survive on their own. Stay strong. Stay steady. And never, ever underestimate the man who walks away with receipts. Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I do. Help this small channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. Every bit of support means the world. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.